Hi there. We're going to answer some questions about macromolecules that are very common and try and attempt to do this in under 5 minutes because we don't want to waste your time. Now, what is an organic compound by definition? Chemical compound containing the element carbon and usually synthesized by cells. An example is table sugar. How are macromolecules made specifically? Macromolecules are typically made up of thousands or more atoms and formed by connecting with smaller subunits called monomers. Now, moving on to carbohydrates, one of the forms of macromolecules. What is a carbohydrate? A carbohydrate is a member of the class of biological molecules consisting of simple single monomer sugars, monosaccharides, two monomer sugars, disaccharides, and other multi-unit sugars, polysaccharides. The carbohydrates are the main form of energy for the body. We get carbohydrates from starches, sugars, and cellulose. What are the monomers of carbohydrates? Monosaccharides. What are the three elements present in carbs, and in what ratio are the elements present? Carbon, 1. Hydrogen, 2, and oxygen, 1, also known as H2O, water. How is disaccharide made? A sugar molecule consisting of two monosaccharides linked by a dehydration reaction. What are polysaccharides? A carbohydrate polymer consisting of hundreds to thousands of monosaccharides linked by dehydration synthesis. What is the difference between starch, cellulose, and chitin? Starch is a storage polysaccharide found in the roots of plants and certain other cells, a polymer of glucose. Cellulose is a large polysaccharide composed of many glucose monomers linked into cable-like fibrils that provide structural support in plant cell walls. Most animals can't digest cellulose because it is so hard to break down. Animals that eat only plants have special sacs in their digestive system to help break down cellulose. And chitin is a tough, semi-transparent substance that is the main component of the exoskeletons of arthropods. Chemically, it is a nitrogenous polysaccharide. Now, moving on. What are lipids? Okay, so what is a lipid technically? A lipid is an organic compound consisting mainly of carbon and hydrogen atoms linked by nonpolar covalent bonds, making the compound mostly hydrophobic. Lipids include fats, phospholipids, and steroids, and are insoluble in water. Examples of common lipids include butter, vegetable oil, cholesterol, and other steroids, wax, and phospholipids. What is the composition of triglyceride? An energy-rich compound made up of a single molecule of glycerol and 3 molecules of fatty acid and serves as a major component of animal and plant oils and fats. Triglyceride comprises 3 fatty acids attached to glycerol. The 3 types of fatty acids that compose triglycerides: saturated, monounsaturated, and polyunsaturated fatty acids. Why are fats hydrophobic? Water-fearing pertaining to nonpolar molecules or parts of molecules that do not dissolve in water. Nonpolar molecules are hydrophobic, means water-fearing. They do not dissolve in water. Nonpolar molecules are hydrophobic. Because the carbon-hydrogen bonds are nonpolar, the chain is hydrophobic, meaning they are not water-soluble. What is the difference between a saturated and unsaturated fat? Unsaturated fats have a lower melting point and are more likely to be a liquid. Saturated fats have a higher melting point and are more likely to be a solid at room temperature. What is a phospholipid and why are they important to humans? A phospholipid has 2 fatty acids attached to glycerol, whereas a fat has 3. Most phospholipids, a small polar or charged nitrogen-containing molecule, is attached to this phosphate. The glycerol backbone, phosphate group, and charged molecule constitute a polar hydrophilic region at one end of the phospholipid. Fatty acid chains provide a non-polar hydrophobic region at the opposite end. Phospholipids are vital for healthy cellular and body functions. What is unique about the heads and tails of phospholipids? The head is hydrophilic, whereas the tail is hydrophobic. What are the subunits of proteins and how are the subunits linked together? Well, the main subunit of protein is oligomeric, but there are many, many other ones. Now, what is the general structure of an amino acid? An organic molecule containing a carboxyl group and an amino acid group serves as the monomer of proteins. Amino acids are the building blocks of proteins. An R group is the chemical group attached to the alpha carbon in an amino acid. How many amino acids exist? There are 20 amino acids found in proteins, which all have different R groups. Now, moving on to nucleic acids. What are the 2 nucleic acids? DNA and RNA. What are the subunits of nucleic acids? They are purines and they are pyrimidines. What is the basic composition of each nucleotide? An organic monomer consisting of a 5-carbon sugar covalently bonded to a nitrogenous base and a phosphate group. Nucleotides are the building blocks of nucleic acids. Name the 4 DNA nucleotides. A double-stranded helical nucleic acid molecule consisting of nucleotide monomers, deoxy sugar, and the nitrogenous bases adenine, cytosine, guanine, and thymine. Name the 4 RNA nucleotides. A type of nucleic acid consisting of nucleotide monomers with a ribose sugar and the nitrogenous bases adenine, cytosine, guanine, and uracil. What is different about the shape of DNA versus RNA? DNA is a double-stranded, and RNA is single-stranded. What is complementary base pairing? Name all the complementary base pairings. Either of the nucleotide bases linked by hydrogen bonds on opposite strands of DNA. Guanine is the base of cytosine, and adenine is the base of thymine and uracil. That's the end. Thank you for watching.